Hello and welcome. My name is Heidi Scheleski. I am a full-time artist, creative director, and author, and I am going to be taking you along with me for a day in the life as a creative entrepreneur. Full disclosure, I have never done a vlog before or a day in the life video. This is completely new for me. I was very inspired recently. I decided to do this type of content. I am experiencing a little bit of a learning curve. Very excited that I get to take you through a day in my life. Every day is a little bit different, as you will soon see. So let's go ahead and jump into my day. The first thing that I do when I wake up is I don't get up. That's right, I stay in bed, I do my emails, I work on content, and I pray, and then I begin my day. I have a lot going on today in particular, so I'm packing the essentials like my charger, my planner because I have to write everything down, otherwise I'll forget, my water bottle, and then I began to get ready to work out. And now I don't record any of this because I prefer to work out at home away from people. And after I did a little bit of Pilates, I went and finished packing the rest of what I needed. There were some art pieces and other materials that I needed to bring. And then I went to the next phase of my morning, which was getting ready for some sunshine. My mornings are so important to me because they set the tone for the rest of my day. The sunshine helps with my mood. I love working out so that I feel good in my body. My routine is centered around taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. Anyways, here I was ready to start my day, and just kidding, I decided that that was not the outfit I wanted to wear, and as soon as I was ready to go, I realized I didn't want to wear that either. So it was really hot out. I decided to put on this lighter skirt rather than the linen. The linen was way too thick. I made my way to my car, packed everything in that I needed to for my day, and I was ready to go. I did not have time to pack a breakfast this morning, so I took my handy dandy protein shake, which is exactly what I had on my long ride to go to my first appointment of the day. And I swear to you, I would have been on time if I had remembered that I needed to get gas the day before, and I completely forgot about that, so we did have to stop and get gas, which inevitably made us late. Luckily, I have a good relationship with the designer, and she was very gracious about me being behind. And actually, Lean is such an exquisite person. She's the designer of KIVANCI, which is a Chicago-based brand. Her pieces are all custom made, and they are so beautiful. I had painted this piece called Whispers of Elegance to be displayed in her studio. That piece is still available. By the time you watch this, it may not be. Here we are in her studio going through a bunch of her different pieces. We have done several collaborations together now at this point. Every time I work with her, it is something so creative and sophisticated, and I absolutely love it. I had painted on another garment with another Chicago-based artist, and I will insert that here so that you can see. We painted on this jacket together and gave it a more street style type of art. Lena and I are discussing doing future pieces together, what we'd like to paint on and work on as a team of designers and creatives. I love it. She and I are planning to do so many other projects together. I've also creatively directed photo shoots for her piece, and we just started releasing some of those photos. They were Audrey Hepburn inspired by her movie Funny Face. That is a whole nother video that will come out, but I really loved working with her on that, and our whole team we had a huge production team, and it was so cool. We went around the streets of Chicago and recreated the looks. Now Lena and I are moving on to some of our next projects. We also had to plan some of the dates for the second part of the shoot, so that's what we did together. We went through so many different things that we have upcoming. Every time I go to her studio, it is a little piece of heaven. I actually never get tired of it. I always leave her studio in a way better state of mind than I was in when I entered. It's magical, that's all I have to say. If you are in Chicago or ever visiting Chicago, having an appointment with KIVANCI is a must. After writing down everything I needed to and leaving with my bag of goodies from KIVANCI, I headed to my next appointment, which was my time at the studio. On the way to the studio, I had also taken another phone call with the photographer that we had worked with on the collaborative shoot, which I am tagging him in the description below. But he and I were able to catch up, and I was able to get started in the studio. For the last 6 months, I have been working on curating my newest collection, which is completely centered around concepts regarding connections and relationships with other people. I love studying spiritual and philosophical concepts, and it's one of my favorite things to be able to paint them. So once I got started setting up my space, I was ready to complete the final piece in my collection. Yes, you have heard that correctly. This is the final piece that I was painting. It feels borderline blasphemous to reveal this because I haven't actually revealed the collection to my collectors, which is what I always do. I have spent so much time on this piece though. When I was painting it, I actually had to stop and take a break right here. This is me just absolutely crashing out for a second because I was so over it. I really just wanted to be done because I'm not kidding, like I have to calculate the hours, but I have easily put more than 30 hours into this piece. It's a 5 foot by 4.5 foot piece. It's pretty big. It was way more detailed than I had expected or planned on doing, but I decided to shift some of the concept while I was painting it. So at that point, I was really done, but I thought, no, let me go ahead and finish the piece today. I basically was on my knees praying to finish this. I decided to add these little thread components to the concept because it's all about weaving in and out of each other's lives. And this piece is actually about soulmates, but I'll get into that later. There is one thing that I have come to terms with as a creative entrepreneur, and that is how essential it is to be adaptable. You can plan and prepare for so much of the journey, so many plans that you have in mind and goals, but honestly, things change all the time, and I feel that same way with my paintings. I think you could have the best concept in the world, but when you're painting it, it may change and shift because you may change and shift, and I think that's really beautiful, honestly. I think it's a skill and a gift to be able to be adaptable and changeable. So that's something that I feel like as an entrepreneur is something that I'm just going to continue to carry with me. Another thing I love is that feeling and sense of relief, which is definitely what I was feeling here. I was so absolutely excited to be done. I had paint all over my hands. I did not care. I loved it, in fact, because now all I had left to do was to paint the sides and be completely done with this final piece in my collection. It may be increasingly apparent that I am quite a thinker. I do overthink a lot, and painting really helps me shut off my brain because I'm focusing on creating. And I feel that way a lot with the creative processes that I experience in my craft. But what I will say is that my paintings are for the people who are deep thinkers and deep feelers, the sensitive souls, the ones who want to find poetry and romance in every moment and in their everyday lives. I think it's so important to create the life that you want. And if you want those magical moments or those moments of serenity and peace and relief, then you should bring things into your life that bring those experiences to life. Also, as a total side note, it is actually one of my pet peeves when artists do not paint the sides of their paintings. I know that not every artist likes to do it, or it's not the purpose or the whatever. It's not their forte, and I get that. I'm just saying it's worth it, in my opinion, to have your sides painted. Now, as far as my routine goes, I am very big on getting a good night's sleep, so I do prioritize rest. So I make sure that I get at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night. And when I had woken up, I had gotten up at a decent hour and done my routine that you saw this morning. It did take me a little over an hour to get to the designer with all my stops and everything with the gas. So I did get there still in the morning. I did spend a decent amount of time there. There was a lot for us to discuss, and I had left sometime in the maybe early to mid afternoon where I had my other phone call in the car. When I got to the studio, it was definitely like mid to late afternoon at best, maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock. But I had been painting here until 8 o'clock at night. So I spent at least 4 hours painting. What you're seeing is just little bits and pieces of my time at the studio. I am now cleaning my brushes, washing my arms, getting all of that paint off of me. Now, I don't know if this is because I'm just a huge fan of the water. I love swimming, I love being in the water, I love boating and being on the beach. I mean, just all of that, right? And I don't know, I really love the water, so cleaning up is actually fun for me. I don't even mind doing the dishes. But in general, I feel the same way about putting away my art supplies because it is something that is so satisfying to me knowing that I actually had the opportunity to paint that day. Which, by the way, the studio that I paint at is located in Pilsen and it is a creative space. I love being here. Genuinely, this is something out of my dreams. I'm so fortunate that I have been a member here and been able to paint this whole collection. It has been truly the perfect space. I had my second phone call coming up for the day, which I was going to take on my way home, and it meant that it was time to pack up my things and head out of the studio, so that is what I did. Since I'm officially on the way home now, I'm gonna go ahead and take that phone call where I am finishing up a ghostwriting project. Don't even get me started, it's a long story. Yes, I also am a writer. I think I mentioned that actually earlier. Well, anyways, the ride home was totally beautiful, so I had to capture a little bit of it to share with you. Please don't come for me on recording that. When I arrived home, it was raining and pouring outside, so I did wait a minute before going in. I want to say it was 9 o'clock when I finally got home, and I ate a little something. I cleaned up and changed out of my painting clothes, and I had a phone call with an art consultant, so I had one more phone call to make. I think it was like 10 o'clock. I was drinking my tea, which I do every day before bed. I start the day with hot lemon water, which I just realized I forgot to film. I had a lovely call with this art consultant and I took my notes so that I did not forget what we talked about because I will be following up with her within the next couple of weeks. I knew it was time for my bedtime routine and to clock out for the day. That concludes my day in the life as a full-time artist. I had filmed a recap at the end of my night, but it was after midnight at that point, and I was so extremely exhausted. I was terribly tired. It sounds like a mess. I was talking in circles and quite incoherent, so I decided that I would do a recap on the day after. Every day in my life as an artist is something completely new and unexpected. The stuff that I do largely remains the same in the way that I have a creative half of my business and a business side of my business. The administrative things, the outreach, the networking, all of these different things and tasks, updating my website. my content. I mean, all of that stuff. I'm a one-woman show, by the way, so everything that you see is me. And on one side of my business, I'm doing that, and on the other side, I'm creating and ideating and doing all these fun creative things. And oftentimes, what I realize is that people are seeing that side of the business, and they think that I have this glamorous, amazing life, but it's just how I view the world. Because all of my content and everything that you see is how I am perceiving it and how I'm giving it to you. I love it so much. I love all of the things that I do, and I'm so beyond grateful for your support, for even watching this video, for all the people who've collected my artwork. I mean, the people I've worked with, I have done and experienced some amazing things and had some amazing people come into my life, but it is a lot of work. It is constant. I am always going on and on. Something that I really realized about creating this particular vlog was that it is so time consuming to have to film every little aspect and part of your day, and then to put it all together, like edit it, just cultivate the content, make sure it looks good, it sounds good. It is a lot of extra work that I was not anticipating, but if you like the vlog, please let me know, and I will do my best to continue making this kind of content, because this is the first time I've ever brought somebody into my day. I tell people about my day sometimes, but oftentimes it's just me going about business, and it's been an experience, definitely. A very interesting one, just being a creative entrepreneur. I'm always learning. I love learning. I love to learn and to grow, and I appreciate everybody holding a little bit of space and grace for me while I learn how to do this. A day in my life is different pretty much every day, so I feel like I could do so many of these vlogs and it would still come out differently. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to everyone. I am also very active on Instagram, so if you'd like to follow me there and join my journey, I would love to have you. If there's a specific type of content that you'd like to see from me, let me know, and I will do my best to bring it to you and to these platforms. Thank you so much for joining me on my day in the life as an artist, and I will speak with you soon.